Welcome everyone to our fellowship for today, Sunday service this afternoon. It's so good to have all of you with us here today. And I want to remind everyone to please say hello so that we know you're here and we can say hello back and talk amongst ourselves a little bit during the service. I have just a few announcements and a couple exciting ones. We want to remember that Julie Dillon is continuing with her amazing Healing Movements classes. Please join in there. We have A Course in Miracles, Mastermind, and Medical Medium. And we have two new things happening. One, I want you to get your calendars out and save October 15th from 7 to 8:30. I know it's still early, but I really want you to plan for this wonderful opportunity that we're going to have. Dr. P.M.H. Atwater will be joining us on Zoom just for the fellowship to talk about near-death experience, the after effects, and what we can learn from these experiences that people have had, since the beginning of time. She is one of the premier and earliest researchers in near-death experiences. She's had several herself and has written numerous books on the topic. So she'll be joining us, and I think that will be such a wonderful opportunity for all of us to sort of dive into this topic. And then we just finished up Agility book study group, and we all just had so much fun, and it was just so heartwarming to be able to see each other and talk with each other during these Zoom meetings, that we decided that why don't we offer this opportunity every week for anybody at the fellowship who would like to join in to just chat for a little while. So we're calling them our Zoom chat meetings, and they're going to start on August 21st at 7 o'clock. That's a Friday night, and we'll have them every Friday night. So you can just tune in. We'll send out the link to these Zoom meetings in a number of ways in our e-announcements, on Facebook, in an email. So you'll be getting that information. And so you can just drop in and say hello, see who's there, chat a little while, and then go on about your evening. But it'll be a nice forum for us to get together as a community. So plan on that, 21st, 7 o'clock. And now I would like to introduce somebody who's just popping in to say hello. It's always fun to see our members' faces and hear their voices. So let's let this person come in and say hi. Okay.
Hi everybody, it's Barbara Kinsey. I hope you're all doing well during these unusual times. I just wanted to say hi, wish you well, and I look forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you, Barb, for taking the time to create that little video for us. I know that we all are enjoying seeing and hearing our fellowship members because we're just not able to get together in person right now. So these little moments mean so much to us. I know that we all appreciate your effort, and thank you so much. Okay, so let's take a deep breath, and I invite you to close your eyes as we begin our service with an opening prayer here. So just close your eyes and take another deep breath as you really relax after the busyness of the day. Maybe put your hands on your heart and focus in that inner sacred space of love. We know that there is only one loving presence in this universe, in all the universes that exist. And this presence is love and all good flowing to us always. And we know that we are one inseparable with this ever-flowing love. So right now, as we focus on our breath for a moment, let's just put down the heavy weight of aloneness, frustration, anxiety, and worry. And even anger, if you're feeling that anger is taking up space somewhere in your body, in your mind. And as we lay these weights down, we can immediately feel the energy shift. We feel light and free. We know that we are all equal creators in the universe. And we are reminded that our true contribution in this world, caring for and tending to ourselves, for each other, and our beautiful earth, is our energetic vibration. A heart open to allow the full flow of divine love. So right now, with renewed enthusiasm and renewed intention, we choose to focus on the unlimited flow of love, of well-being. And as we do this, we are aware of and feel the quickening of the momentum. As we feel the flow of clarity, joy, abundance, appreciation, and love. We are so, so grateful for this knowing that in any moment we can choose our focus. We can choose our focus on love. And that love will flood into our experience. We know this is how we create our lives. And with this awareness and with this attention, together we say, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you so much, everyone. Right now, we're going to continue on with some wonderful music by our dear, dear Reverend Lucille Olson.
Hello everyone, glad to have you here with us this afternoon. I'm going to sing an old favorite and invite you to sing along, called Love One Another. We are learning
Thank you so much, Lucille. We are so appreciative of you and all of the time and talent that you have given to the fellowship over the years. Hearing you today and seeing you today takes us back to our meetings together, our time together at the Red Cedar Friends, and it just warms our hearts. And we just want to say thank you so much for continuing to contribute to Fellowship for Today virtual experience. So now let's all take another moment to pause and really reflect for a moment on all of the beautiful blessings in our lives. I'm looking out the window here, and I'm seeing the beautiful blue sky and the white clouds and the trees blowing in the wind. What a gift of beautiful summer days we've had. And I also see, when I look out the window here, the abundance that nature brings to us. So let's really be grateful and appreciative for the abundance that we share. The Fellowship for Today knows that abundance is the flow of divine energy, and that this flow never ends, is always available. A Course in Miracles teaches us that giving and receiving are one in truth. So I ask you to join me right now to bless our tithes and offerings to the fellowship by reading the blessing on the screen right up here. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you all for your generous donations. Thank you for remembering that we're not meeting in person on Sunday to have that collection each Sunday. So your mailing in of the donations and donating some extra here and there on our website donation page is so much appreciated. Thank you so much. And now it's time to introduce our speaker for this afternoon, someone we all look forward to hearing from, someone who brings his unique perspective and asks some interesting and challenging questions sometimes. He's a longtime fellowship member, and we all appreciate him giving his time and insights this afternoon. So let's welcome Richard Lasson.
Good afternoon. Last time I stood here before you was March 1st, and that was nearly 6 months ago. And when I look back at that, it's just hard to believe the changes that we've all experienced since then. If you had told me that we would have been in quarantine from a pandemic, I wouldn't have believed it. It seems like another time in another world when we were all together and having potlucks after services and exchanging greetings with one another. And we hope that maybe that will come back sometime soon. When I look at the news, it seems like it's pretty depressing, and it seems more like a travelogue for the book of Revelations. There's not a lot of good news today. Furthermore, as I prepared this talk, I was reading about Richard Leakey, and he's the famed anthropologist and conservationist. And he stated that he believed that we are in the 6th mass extinction event that is going on in the world. And it's brought on by overpopulation and climate change, by the overuse of fossil fuels. I think, that the times are quite dire, yet I want to take some time and offer a different perspective, that there might be a different way of looking at this. I'll start, I want to tell a story, and if you stay with me, I'll try to tie this into a spiritual interpretation. Back last February, before all the shutdown had occurred, I had gone to my dentist, and he had found a small crack in my crown in one of my teeth, and that tooth had a root canal, and we had scheduled to have it repaired. And COVID-19 came about and everything got shut down, and we didn't get to go back until July. And during those interim 4 months, I wasn't really well. I had several COVID tests and they both came out negative, but I had ear infection after ear infection and other maladies, and I've never been that ill before so long and so persistently. I would take an antibiotic, and then I would get a little better, and then the prescription would run out, and then it would come back again. And when I went to the dentist finally in July, we took x-rays, and the tooth that needed work had fractured and had broken the root off. And the conclusion was that it couldn't be saved, so it had to be extracted. And if you've never had an extraction, count yourself lucky. But there wasn't really much pain associated with the tooth because it was already dead from the root canal. Anyway, we removed that that tooth. And prior to doing this, I had asked, in a meditation to be shown what the problem was why I was sick. And in the middle of night, I just bolted upright and I said, "It's your tooth." And so, he looked at it, and when he did the work, he popped the crown off, and the scent of decay was just so pervasive that it was a systemic infection that was going on. What I have learned from this is that we can treat symptoms in society or in medicine, but unless we get to the root cause of that, it's not going to be easy the issues are going to continue. And I thought about race relationships and the current issues of Black Lives Matter. And I think that we have to really look at the root issue of what's causing it, not just treat symptoms. Otherwise, they just coming back in different forms. So how exactly could we actually deal with the root issues? Marianne Williams said, "Until we have met the monsters in ourselves, we keep trying to slay them in the outer world. And we find that we cannot. For all darkness in the world stems from darkness in the heart, and it is there we must do our work." A couple of weeks ago, Julie Dillon spoke recently about a spiritual toolbox and the items that were within. I'd like to take the time and expand on her lead. And I came up with a few things of my own that I had found that have helped me. I'm not here to try to convince people that this is what they should do, but I thought I would share with you the things that I remind myself of during difficult times. So these are the things that I sat down and wrote, that resonate with me. The first one is that thoughts become things. If I want a better outcome, maybe I need to entertain better thoughts, speak better words, and hang with better people. All creation comes from thought. And if the current situation I find myself in is unappealing, then maybe I need to go to the source and change those thoughts about it. Number 2 is one cannot buy, achieve, or date peace of mind. I wish this were true, but fortunately it is not. It would make life so much more simpler. But the external world is not capable of giving me peace of mind. Comparing my insides with someone outside's is a recipe for anxiety and depression. Is that when I see things that are going on with other people, whether it's comparatively better or worse, I really am not in a position to judge because I don't know the situation well enough, and I try to remind myself it is what it is. Number 4 is I am responsible for this incarnation. Blaming others for what they did or didn't do will not heal me. Well, that's one you could talk about a lot. Number 5, there's a primordial need to practice something artistic, whether it is painting, dancing, writing, gardening, playing a musical instrument, or whatever, and to help others develop that talent as well. The next is limit my time with crazy people. If you're like me, certain people come to mind. Number 7 is forgiveness. Forgiveness is freedom. This doesn't mean I accept bad behavior or trust them again. It means I have released them from all indebtedness and so that I can move on. It's a gift to ourselves. And I think it's probably one of the cornerstone principles of the fellowship. Number 8, try to eat better. Cheese whiz and marshmallow fluff really aren't food. Chocolate is not a vegetable. A friend of mine found a bag of hot dog buns that had fallen behind her refrigerator, and they had expired 4 years ago, and they weren't a bit moldy. And you wonder, what are they putting in that stuff? Not something good. Number 9 is try to get out into nature regularly. Ralph Waldo Emerson said that the happiest people on earth are the ones that learn the lessons from nature. Everything gets recycled, including ourselves. Number 10, laughter is carbonated holiness. It's the stuff that makes life worthwhile. Laughter is a natural antidepressant, and I think we probably need more of that. To spend time worrying about or reliving the past really isn't living. The art of being in the present moment means I give my full attention to someone, and I'm not thinking about what to reply while they're talking. By doing so, it brings forth more satisfying relationships. Number 12, unplug the technology once in a while. Enjoy the silence. Walking into the kitchen to get a soda is not exercise. And I need to get exercise regularly. Number 14, be grateful for something, anything. Gratitude is a state of consciousness, and as has been stated here at the fellowship, it is heaven itself. The best prayer ever is thank you. I remind myself that I am not in the outcome department, but rather in the show up and let's see what happens department. Let go of the need to control people, places, and things. Number 16, I try to do at least one altruistic thing every day. Sometimes it's no more than picking up someone else's trash, holding the door for a stranger, or asking the cashier how their day is going. And I try to look for opportunities to make a difference. Number 18, spend time in self-reflection. It is a never wasted time. It's an intimate date with myself. To take the time and enjoy the experience and get comfortable being alone. And under this pandemic, I think that's what most of us are being forced to do. We are always connected to the sources of divine wisdom, intelligence, and divine love. Through the silence, we become aware of this presence. Number 19, I have a responsibility to help the next generation. Although I cannot save anyone, I am responsible for sharing my gifts and talents with others who are just starting out. And finally, smile more. Small corrections can yield large changes. I don't have any smart words or quotes that can make today's reality more palatable. It's a difficult situation. But there is a reason to be optimistic, and history shows us that when we come together, we can meet enormous challenges. For example, I think I look back in late 1941, in the onset of World War II. We were a nation that was viciously attacked and forced to fight two enemies on 3 different continents. There was no assured outcome with this. And we came together and defeated Nazi Germany and Japan. The Great Depression of 1929 left many people unemployed without any source of income. It was a desperate time, and yet we did overcome that. I think about tuberculosis. I can remember as a young boy that's in Chicago, we had the sanitariums for them. And today it's largely treatable, even though 1.5 million people die from it still every year. Polio was a horrible disease back in the 1950s, where children were being crippled and put into iron lungs, and there didn't seem to be any cure for that. Until at the University of Michigan, Salk and Sabin came up with a vaccine that had largely prevented it. And then the idea of serendipity. And 1928, one of the larger issues was infections called septicemia. And it killed untold millions, bacterial infections. And Alexander Fleming was doing an experiment, and he had gone on vacation, and when he came back, he noticed that the mold from the bread had killed bacteria, which led to the discovery of penicillin. And it's estimated that that discovery saved somewhere between 80 and 200 million lives. In January 1922 at the University of Toronto, doctors went to a hospital ward where children had been sent, and these were the children that were comatose and dying. The doctors came by and injected a new chemical extract into each child, and as they went down the line, by the time they get to the last child, the first child started to awaken. And then within 30 minutes, all the children were awake. And this place of death and gloom was transformed into joy. And that drug was synthetic insulin. And when we come together, I think in 1961, John Kennedy came to the country on television and had this idea that we should go to the moon. Nobody had ever done anything like that before, or nor knew how to do it. There was no playbook to refer to. And 8 years and 2 months later, we were there. And a little known fact is that in the control room, mission control, the average age of the person in that room at the time was just 27 years old, meaning that when they heard Kennedy's speech, most all of them were just teenagers. And when given an opportunity to lay out what we can do in our lives, people will rise to the occasion. And I'd like to conclude, with a quote that I saw at a store. And it was just, I thought, really quite eloquent. It said, believe in goodness, embrace beauty, trust in life, practice kindness. Can it be that simple? Certainly worth something to think about. Thank you much. So at this time, I'd like you to sit upright completely, wherever you are. Inhale deeply Then throw the breath out and relax. Let's do that 3 times. With your eyes closed, concentrate at the point between your eyebrows and dismiss all thoughts about the past or worry about the future. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the point of concentration. Try to stay relaxed. Now visualize yourself at the banks of a small brook. You can hear the water flow. You can detect the sound of an insect buzzing by. Inhale deeply and smell the fragrance of a nearby orchard, and the apple blossoms are in bloom. Feel the loving presence wash over you, and the sensory world fades away until there are no thoughts, no ideas, just a still presence of being. Sit here for a moment in silence and absorb the beauty of the infinite. This is a place that we can come back to at any time. And here is a place where we are safe and always available to us. And so we're going to move backwards now to that stream, listening to the water, hearing the insects, smelling the grass. And then we go back to focus on, concentrate on that point between our eyebrows, where there is no past and there is no future. And now we can wake, open our eyes. Thank you.
Thanks again, Barb Kinsey, for popping in to say hello. Thank you, our dear Reverend Lucille Olson, for your beautiful song. And thank you, Richard, for a really wonderful reminder of all of the wonderful tools that we have in our toolbox, and for bringing our attention to the fact that there is always hope. There is always a new direction that we can choose together. So thank you again for joining us this afternoon, and thank everyone for being here with us. We love to see you. We love to know that you're with us, and hope so much that you're appreciating these messages that we bring to you every Sunday. I want to remind you how much I love you and how much I hold each and every one of you in my heart, thinking of you every day throughout the week, and looking forward to being with you again next Sunday. So now it's time for our Big Peace Circle. It's getting bigger and bigger as we have people joining in with our virtual services. So let's reach out our hands and feel our neighbor's hand in ours as we sing our peace song that has meant so much to our fellowship from the very beginning. And then we'll close with our blessing. The words are on the screen for you if you're new to us. And as I said, I look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Please have a wonderful, wonderful week.
The presence of God is within us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.